I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me.
What do all of these foods have in common? What ingredient could be so important and so influential in all of the processed foods in America? Sugar. That's right. Sugar, in any of its forms, has been added to these foods by the food industry. Most people have no idea what sugar is in, how much sugar they eat, or even how much sugar they should be eating. We asked a few students of our university to guess how much sugar was in some samples of food. Sometimes they got it right.
Is instant oatmeal?
Yep,
I'm gonna guess number 2 again.
you were right.
Yes.
That one? You're right. Good job.
They are kind of sweet tasting. I'm going with number 3.
You are right again.
Wow, I'm on fire. It is a lot more sugar than I expected to see in that. That's surprising.
However, more often than not, they underestimate it.
3 tablespoons is the serving size for that.
I'm only gonna say 1 because I really hope that means that's not 3 tablespoons of dry substance.
It's actually number 2.
No. No.
Nutella. 2.
It's actually this one.
Ooh. Wait, this is tiny.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna guess number 5.
Typically,
You're right. It
they
is
were
that
really
one.
surprised by the Pepsi bottle.
Yeah, if you want to like feel the bag to compare it.
A lot.
Yeah.
I feel like it's 4. It has to be right.
It's actually 5.
Ew, that's gross. That's on your teeth. Like,
Yeah.
ew.
Oh, this has got a lot in it.
Okay. How much in this one?
I really hope it's not 5. That is a ton of sugar. But I'm gonna go with number 4.
Actually, number 5.
It's number 5. Oh
It's
my
number
gosh.
5. If you'd like to feel that bag to judge how much sugar that is.
I'm never drinking a soda again. Wow.
Surveys have found that the average American consumes about 85 grams of sugar per day, 3 times the recommended intake. With sugar intake being such a problem, why don't American citizens know what's making them fat and sick? The answer is that America's food industry is extremely powerful, and a ton of money is involved in their marketing and lobbying. Every 4 days, the industry spends $100 million marketing junk food, just to children. The US has a food industry that is selling processed, highly sugary foods, and they've completely brainwashed their consumer base, starting at a young age, on the idea that processed foods are cheaper, easier, and greater tasting alternatives to fresh food.
Who knows what this is?
Potatoes.
Potato? So you think these are potatoes? Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is?
Broccoli.
What about this? Our good old friend. Do you know what this is, honey?
Celery.
No. What do you think it is, darling?
Onion.
Onion? No. Immediate.
Children aren't being taught healthy eating. Their minds have been hijacked by commercials with their favorite cartoon characters selling them processed foods.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 3.
Not only is the general population being left in the dark about the harmful effects of sugar, the sugar lobbyists have pushed enough money into the U.S. political scene that they hold great influence over nutrition standards in the U.S. These lobbyists for big food companies have made it so that consumers have no idea how much sugar they should be taking in per day. While food nutrition labels list government-recommended levels of daily intake for various nutrients, today, when you look on any food label, you will not find sugar listed with the daily recommendation. Obscuring the facts on nutrition labels is not the only thing the sugar industry, and subsequently the entire processed food industry, has done in the name of business. For over 40 years, a large concern that the sugar industry has had is refuting studies suggesting that sugar consumption is unhealthy. Starting in 1962, researchers started looking for probable links between sugar and chronic diseases. By 1973, these links between sugar, diabetes, and heart disease became very apparent, causing Senator George McGovern of South Dakota to convene a hearing with a select committee on nutrition and human needs to address the issue. An international panel of experts determined that different variations in sugar consumption cause different diabetes rates between populations. And according to the USDA, eating too much increased the number of people affected by these diseases. The start of the obesity epidemic was around 1977. It was then that the McGovern report was released, and it noted that people's diets were too rich in fat, sugar, and salt. Egg, sugar, dairy, and beef industries teamed up, and rather than a proven investigation on links between sucrose and disease, the companies quit supporting the ISRF's research projects, rejected the report, and demanded a rewrite. So, by the late 80s, research on these suspected links stopped. In the end, the major food companies won. Their efforts were so effective that even now, there is no official consensus that exists regarding sugar's potential dangers. Out of this massive corruption and greed are born a host of nasty symptoms. Nearly 79 million adults and 13 million children in America are obese. Another third of the US population is overweight. Obesity has been directly linked to heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. The estimated annual medical cost of obesity in the US was $147 billion in 2008. However, the real antagonist of the problem, the food industry, is not being blamed for the obesity epidemic. Instead, the government and the media are telling Americans that their health issues are their own fault. The message that's been pushed onto US citizens today is that obesity is all about personal responsibility. Americans are told to exercise more and eat less. It's from their own lack of self-control and extreme laziness that they're obese. Between 1980 and 2000, fitness club memberships more than doubled. During this time, the obesity rate also doubled. So the idea that it's Americans' fault that they're fat is nonsense. Balancing calories in and calories out is nonsensical because a calorie eaten is not a calorie eaten.
Why is a calorie not a calorie? If you consume 160 calories in almonds, because of the fiber in the almonds, the food is not going to get absorbed immediately. So your blood sugar rise is going to be a lot lower. It's going to be for longer. So what's the opposite of the almond? Well, the opposite of the almond would be a soft drink. Because there's no fiber, they get absorbed straight through the portal system to the liver. The liver gets this big sugar rush. When your liver gets that onslaught, it has no choice but to turn it into fat immediately. So, 160 calories in almonds or 160 calories in soda? You tell me which is better.
Marketing and advertising by food industries are only worsening the problem because they target younger audiences. Studies have shown that 2 to 3-year-olds can start to recognize food brands. Now, in gas stations and checkout lines, junk food is displayed directly at a child's eye level. What America needs isn't more exercise, though that would never hurt. What they need is a reformed way of eating. The food industry needs to be changed if the rate of obesity is ever to decline. Unfortunately, that change has been extremely difficult to make. The most recent and notable campaign to have tried to improve the health of America has been First Lady Michelle Obama's Let's Move campaign. In the first months of the Obama administration, Michelle Obama was exhorting the industry to change its products and cut its childhood marketing. However, when the food industry heard news of this campaign, they reacted in terror. So what did they do? They volunteered to help her. Michelle Obama partnered with Coca-Cola, Hershey's, Kraft, Kellogg's, Pepsi, Mars, and Sara Lee for her Let's Move campaign. Everyone offered to help, yet it's important to look at what they're offering to do. First, these corporations are funding programs in schools, not to talk about sugar, but to talk about calories in and calories out. Next, they pledged to reduce annual calories in the marketplace by 1.5 trillion calories. Removing 1.5 trillion calories is equal to removing 14 calories a day for the average adult or child. Clearly, some action must be taken, but what can we, as average Americans, do? We can choose to live healthier lifestyles, to be aware of what we eat, to challenge the sugar monopoly with every bite we take. Without your help, the obesity epidemic will continue for future generations. Let's be the generation to end the reign of the most dangerous drug in the U.S. for good.
Sweet as candy, its taste is on my mind.